Hey, Pastor, have a few? Got some things on my mind. Can I chat with you? Awesome. So I'm reading the stuff in the book of Acts about the early church, and I can't help but compare. It looks completely different than what we've got going on here. Now, I know you've got a lot on your plate, but I'm struggling. Not in my faith. I feel stronger than ever, but I'm struggling when us as a church meet together. We gather on Sundays, worship, notices, preaching, finishing on praise. But what about the 6 other days? I mean, it's cool to come together and sing, and we're told in the Word not to neglect gathering. So we come every Sunday for the sake of unity. But I can't help but think there's got to be more to church community. I'm starting to hear this more and more, and it's the reason why many walk out that back door. They're on fire for Jesus, just not for a church service. They're spiritually fed, but it's because they're self-led. Pastor, you started from ground up with the vision for your city, but it seems to me you've settled to gather others already within Christianity, maybe unintentionally, but you've in essence snatched people from other congregations and each year brag about your church growth in the annual church celebrations, and now the church is so big that you're wanting to shift. Seriously, how many unbelievers have we actually connected with, and what if they were all we were left with? Now there's a big empty church building just up the street, and yet we're wanting to build another for hundreds to meet to add to our fleet. Isn't our mission the Great Commission? Are we really making disciples? Because from my understanding, we spend more time and effort on our church branding. We spend all these resources on the external, on the temporary, not on the eternal. We seem to use loads of cash, keeping up with the latest fads, but what about outreach, mission of the poor? And you wonder why people aren't tithing anymore.
Luke, calm down. Why are you yelling?
It's because I'm sick to my stomach with this lukewarm religious rubbish. It's so flippant uncompelling, and we wonder why they stay away while we sit in our church cafe sipping our latte. We are disciples and not bench warmers. The height of the Christian life isn't some church chorus. We have completely missed our purpose. We don't exist to bring comfort to Christians, but to make disciples and teach them to share Jesus with anyone who listens. The problem isn't just with our church, and that's just the thing. The disunity amongst the wider church is staggering. A friend of mine approached me with some pretty wise advice. Why don't all you Christians work together? That question didn't come as a surprise. They will know us by our love and not our building or logo. But if we're not part of the same movement, then hanging out with them is a no-go. What a low blow. What's causing this? Yes, some theological differences, but most of the time it's competitions between our churches. If we're building our own kingdom, then we'll battle each other. But if we're extending the kingdom of God, then if we're clever, we'll unify with others and work all together. For we are His body, with all of its roles. And if we neglect the church down the road, then we'll miss out on lost souls. And if a believer goes to another church, then who cares? It's not our church, it's Jesus's, and the decision is theirs. That means that our church might be small, and yet in God's eyes be beautiful, because we're not seeking man's applause, we're seeking to be faithful. And if we're small, we shouldn't envy the large, the outwardly successful. And if we're large, how dare we look down on the small? One word we've got to be familiar with is the word humble, like Jesus, who washed people's feet. The least we can do is meet with the church pastor down the street, because we're all one, all part of the same kingdom, all responsible for the same commission. And our mission isn't inside of these walls. They're holding us back. Give me a sledgehammer and I'll give these walls a whack. And once the dust settles and we've cleared all the rubble, it will be finally time to step out this big bubble. Our freshly painted walls, it's time to rip down and pick up our cross that for too long we've laid down. And here is halftime. Out these doors is the real thing. To together live it and share it as His worldwide church. Extend His kingdom.